why I can't sit down in my own craft room. Not only is there a dog, but there's a cat. That's my whole seat. Yeah, fun stuff. Hi, and welcome. A little bit different today. I thought, actually, I've been in the mood to work on junk journals for a while now. I haven't done one in quite a while. And what I thought, let me widen that out just a little bit. Yes, I have a lot of stuff built up on my table, but I've been pulling some things out. I have more things that I want to pull out, so yeah, we'll see. This one is going to be a Thanksgiving, not really a journal, more of a little, like, planning kind of, yeah, a journal that just is really small, and I'm just going to use it as like a blessing journal for, I don't know, the Thanksgiving period, maybe just noting the many blessings that I have, what I plan for the rest of this month with Thanksgiving and moving into December for Christmas. So I'm going to do this Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to do my December daily. So it might be a start and a stop because I do want to do maybe some flowers that I'll have to do on my die cut machine. I'm really not prepared. I haven't done this in a while. So I did print a digital thing that I'll have to see where I got it from. I'm not in love with it. It's just what I could find. So it will do. I've got a couple of pockets here that might be a little bit too big to use as they're intended, although they might work like that. Not sure. But right now, I'm just going to say that I'm going to use this small paper sack bag as the base of my journal. And so the first thing I need to do is figure out how I want to use this. I was thinking that I may actually fold this out and I don't know. I can't quite decide. I guess that it would be a benefit of doing a live video is you could tell me what you think I should do. In a can, let's see, what are the options with a bag? Pardon the crinkling. Let's see if I put my hand in here and open it out. This is a really small paper bag. So I could cut this end off entirely and use it as like an open brown paper tube. But I don't really want to do that either. I'm trying to figure, I may just leave it like this, fold it in like that, and then use this as like a little bit of a, maybe a little place you could put something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens here. First I need to cover this, and to do that I will have to figure out what color I want it to be. Now for Thanksgiving, it's kind of a fall, autumn, and I was thinking about using this. It's got like really small foliage. It's a really small print, and that might be pretty as a base, and then move from there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And it's just white on the back side, so usually that's one of my biggest issues is trying to deal with things that, ooh, that works out really well, is to deal with things that have two sides, because I'm terrible when it comes to not wanting to waste anything. So let me go and cut this off. I'm just going to make a pencil mark, and I'll make a pencil mark here. And then I'm going to do it here. And I have a paper trimmer. It's a big one. So I'm just going to go do this and I'll be back. So this is my bag. And I've cut 2 pieces of the scrapbook paper, one for each side of the bag, because I've decided I'm going to line both sides with the same paper just as a base. And I'm using this Whispers permanent waterproof raised dye based ink, which is no longer produced, and I'm not sure what the current name of this product is. I'm not sure if it's Adirondack or Stazon or what, but I have a whole box of them, and right now they are available on eBay, but they are discontinued. And but like I said, I think they did just change brands. But this is from like way back in the day when I first started buying craft supplies. And as you can see, maybe they still work really well. And I've had them for decades. So all I'm doing is taking my stamp pad and rubbing it on the bag. You can use a handle with a sponge on it. I just, to me this is less wasteful, I guess, more economical, easier, quicker. I'm all for easy and quick. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my ink pad and I'm going down all the edges because I'm going to put paper on here, but I'm not going to fold the paper over the edge on this piece. If I was going to fold the paper over the edge, I wouldn't do this. So if you plan to make anything like this and you're going to totally encase your base bag or envelope or whatever you decide to use, you don't have to do this part. But if, like me, you are just going to do the outside of the bag, then I do recommend, unless you don't care if the brown bag shows. I mean, let's face it, there really is nothing wrong with the base of the base material showing. Not when it's kind of a cool brown bag. I do think brown bags are pretty cool. They used to not be cool. I can remember having to carry my lunch in a brown bag and really hating it when I was a kid. Of course, I didn't like carrying my lunch, but hey, it's okay. I survived it. Okay, now the end of the bag I'm also going to do with ink. Simply because I love the serrated edge of the paper bag. I just think that it is beautiful. And I'm going to open it up and do a little bit here. And maybe a little bit there. Okay. And this ink color is called Barn Brown, just in case you have Whispers ink pads in your possession. Okay. So, I want this, as you look at it, this is going to be the back of the little journal, and the open part of the bag is going to be the front cover. So, I just want to do that. And I'm going to fold it there just as a temporary thing. Because I'd also been thinking that I could turn this down a little bit. But I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to cover the bag. So this part of the bag, I'm just going to line like that. Although, yeah, I'll just line it like that. And then this part of the bag will have this longer piece on it. And I will use this part to go across the bottom. I think that'll be kind of cool. And I may even not use that extra little fold there. Well, let's see how I go on. You're seeing my process because I'm crafting by the seat of my pants as usual. So I'm going to do is take some Mod Podge. Try to get it open. Which is always my problem because my hands don't ever want to work. I did just have surgery on both of my hands in August for trick fingers. And now I find my hands are even weaker than they were. And that jar is really stuck. So let me stop and I will get the jar open and be back. Okay, mission accomplished. That was tough. Alright, so I had my glue brush sitting in water. So I need to just take some of the water out of the brush. And then I'm just going to use my Mod Podge. And I'm going to put that all over the bag. And this is pretty much doing the structure of a themed junk journal. Like this is going to be Thanksgiving blessings. So that's the theme I'm going for. And right now I'm just building the construction. And this part could be any journal because it's just how I'm building the base. I'm just putting enough of this on here. My cardstock, my scrapbook paper isn't really thick scrapbook paper, but I do want my surface to be sticky enough that since I'm not wrapping the paper around it, that it will hold it well enough. And the sides of my bag are pretty much the same. I mean, it wouldn't matter which side I put this first sheet of paper on. So I'm going to use the short piece first. And that's just going to go on here. And I'm just going to put this as close to the bottom as I can get it. And just press it down. And then I'm going to flip it over and just check. I mean, I have a little bit of white showing around the edge, but I think that I'm okay. And I'm just going to go with that flow. I'm going to flip that over. And this time I'm going to put the Mod Podge on the bag again, just to, now I don't want to glue the bag shut, so I have to be a little bit careful there that doesn't happen. And I could put a piece of paper down in there, you know, wax paper, anything really. Okay, and then I'm just going to come all the way down to the end. And you can use any adhesive. I'm just using Mod Podge. You could use double-sided tape, although I find that after a while double-sided tape dries up and gets brittle, and loses its tack. So I like to use Mod Podge or Aleene's Tacky Glue or Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. And this time I'm going to put it on this open end of the bag. And I'm going to try to even it up. Sorry if my hands get in the way. And just move it right to the edge. And then I'm going to smooth it down this way. I think I'm a little off. But that's okay. There we go. So that is that. And I want to make sure that I press it as far that way as I can get it, because I do want to wrap that edge. So that's down, and then I'm just going to make sure that this is down as much as I can get it. Now I can just cut another piece for the bottom. That's really not a big deal. Get my glue or Mod Podge, and I'm just going to put more on the end. And I'm going to put a little bit on the paper, because I do want this to stick really well. There. Then I'm going to wrap this around, and it's just going to go right on the bottom here. So I'm going to lift it up. And I just set my brush off to the side in a container that hasn't got any water in it when I'm just working with it. That keeps the glue off my table and out from underneath my arms, so I'm not gluing myself down too. There's a little bit pulled up there on the bag, so I'm just putting a little bit of this underneath there. And since this may get some stress, I am going to glue the paper too. There, nice layer of glue, not too gloppy. And I'm just going to put that back down, just like that. And press it good all around the edges. May have to trim a little bit off, but that's fine. There we go. There are so many ways to do junk journals, and I'm certainly not an expert. It's just something I like to play with. You can find tons of information online and on YouTube and Facebook. There's all kinds of groups. There's all kinds of videos. I appreciate that you stopped to look at mine, and I hope that it brings you some joy, because, hey, life needs a little joy. And I know it brings me joy to see other people creating, and it gives me ideas and inspires me. And yeah, so there's that. And I just need my scissors. Of course, you know, I've been pulling everything out to work on journals now, and it's not a low tool kind of deal. There is a lot of stuff. Well, I guess every craft, whenever you're making something by hand, there's a lot of stuff involved. So, oh, there they are. Just had to find my Tim Holtz scissors. These are short dog, sorry. Short bladed. Okay, well, it's a few days later, and I've actually gone through and already built my little journal. This is just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch for the spine, and I will do a walkthrough of the whole journal. The center part is an envelope, and then I used some Thanksgiving stickers to decorate pages. So yeah, we'll do a walkthrough. Right now I am going to take some very glittery papers in copper and gold, and I'm going to put that onto some white cardstock and die cut some crosses, because I will show you how I started using my journal in just a moment. Okay, well, I found this sheet of paper, and it came out of a Christmas book, but I think that it'll look really nice with as the back side of some die cut crosses. So all I'm going to do is turn that over, because I want to make these just like a glitter page. I may not need to use more than, well, I'm going to need part of it. And this is kind of thin paper, so I will just use some of my Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. I also have Art Glitter Dries White Glue, which is fun to have if you want to do a snow. Use like a sponge and put some snow texture down using the glue and maybe some white glitter. That's fun too. And I want to make sure that there's enough glue here, because I'm going to be die cutting this when it's dry, and I don't want it to fall apart with all the little cuts that'll be in it. So that's that. And then I will just turn it over and put it on this page. It's a little bit bigger than the sheet, but that's okay. It will do. And then I will put glue on the gold sheet. Should really put the glue on the white sheet, because then anything that goes over I can use as scraps. It's been snowing all day today, and it's cold. I don't know if you can hear that hum in the background, which is my space heater in my room, because my craft room is cold. And I've got all of the dogs and a couple of the cats up here with me, taking naps. And yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. Well, I think that's good. And then I'm just going to turn this. I'd started putting glue here, so now I want to make sure that I put the glue on the page. That would be good, huh? Kind of make sure everything is covered. And then I will take just a tissue, because that's all I have to hand right now. Kind of wipe up the excess glue that got on my mat so I don't wreck my papers. And then I'm going to just come back here. I just drop my pen and my glue on the floor. Oh well. I guess I will have to look for that. But for now, luckily I have other stainless steel pins I can use. I hate it when I do that. What I am going to do is trim around these edges a little bit, just to neaten it up. I don't really have to, because I am going to die cut, so the edges aren't going to matter. But it does give me a couple of cute little strips that I can use as little edgings and stuff, which is good. And then what I'm going to do is just lay these crosses down in a way that's going to have them fitting on this paper. And I think since this is the biggest die, I'm going to have this go with the form of the paper. And I'll probably put that right there. And then I'll have that one go like that. Okay, I'm going to put this through my die cutter and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've run that through my die cutting machine, and I'm not sure it all cut. I think it did. I'm going to have to find out. Let's see, this one's still in the paper, so let's pull this out and see if we can get the whole thing to release. Yep, here goes this one. Not sure which side we're going to have to use, because I have a feeling well, nope, there's the gold. Well, let me get a piece of paper. So that's what the gold paper looks like with the cross. And then there's the paper side. So I think those came out okay. And let's check these. Can't really tell looking at the glitter side what's happened. So let me pull these off. And a couple of them stayed in. But then these look like they've cut okay. These cut well too. So let me take this off of here. And there is that one. And there's that. Very pretty. I may put some of these together, like string them, and I don't know, see what I get. I am looking for, there, I'll use this. This is just a wooden skewer. I'm just going through the back to push. Like I have to go through still and remove these little pieces. I don't know if you can see, but like this, there's a whole bunch of little pieces that I have to remove. That will be easy. I have a brush that'll do this. And you can use something as simple as a toothbrush too. There's lots of openings on these die cuts to help remove the pieces. And for this one, some of them are even just falling out. So they'll be really easy. So that's all of them for that one. And then for this other one, let's see. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Poke that out. I think that's all for that side. But that's really pretty. And then that's the copper side. And then there's one more left in here. It's a very intricate one. Let's see. Okay. So I think that got them all out of the paper. Then I just have to go back through and get all of these pieces to come out. And it does look like the glitter paper was a little bit of a harder cut, but it's coming. See? And I think I'm going to try to poke these through to the solid paper side, simply because it'll make it release from its own colored paper easier. There. Well, I get it to let go. So I'm just going to take all these little intricate pieces out of my die cuts, and I will be right back to show you what I've got. Here, first I'll take these two out of here so you can see them, because these are pretty simple ones. They just stayed in the... Ooh, that's a really pretty one. Get a pink paper. You might be able to see this easier. So there's that. And then the other side has all kinds of little embossed detail. Isn't that pretty? That's really pretty. And then this big one is also pretty simple. Has with a lot of embossed detail. The skewer's really too big for those holes though. Time to get the needle tool. This needle tool has seen a lot of action. If you can tell, it's pretty bent up, but it still works. There it goes. And I have to poke all those little ones out too. See? Poke, 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 poke. Kind of fun television work. So let me get these things straightened out, and I will be back to show you what they look like. And we can figure out how to use them in my Thanksgiving journal. And I'll do a quick flip through too. Be back. Okay, well, that's done. I was watching the first Star Wars episode, Phantom Menace, and I just started watching it. I shouldn't make it sound like I watched the whole thing. But I took all of those little pieces out of the crosses, and I have them all ready to use in this journal and maybe my December daily. And I think they really came out beautifully. For the most part, they're one color on the back. Although I do have one, and I think it's this one, that has a gold edge over here. These are beautiful. And I think they will come in very handy in my journals. So, those are ready to use. And I will show you how I've started using this journal. So I made the cover, and I used some stickers to decorate, and part of the junk journal edition for autumn, fall of autumn, that I got from Screech Owl Studios on Etsy. I will link that below. And this is what the cover looks like on the outside. I just used some, I just took that sticker off. I just used a bunch of stickers, and I've decorated it. So that's what this little journal is looking like right now. And I do have it with a closure. It's just a loop closure that'll go around the outside of it. And then I have a few little pieces of paper that are just journaling tags that will go right into this pocket. And that just says, count your blessings and so much to be thankful for. Isn't that the truth? And I'm just going to slide these back into this front little pocket, because I will be able to write on these and put little thoughts and blessings. Then inside of this, on the cover, I just put a little heart doily, and I left the top open for a pocket. And there are 3 more little pieces of paper that are just folded that can be used as journaling spots. And those will just fit back in there. And then using more stickers, these are 3D stickers. It says, I am so grateful for you. And there's just a whole bunch of different sized papers that I added in here. Remember, this is a 3-hole pamphlet stitched. So these are just pages that I put in. And there's space for, extra secret journaling. It just says Happy Thanksgiving. There's a little stamping every now and then. And just Thanksgiving greetings. And then I have a couple of places that I used a paper clip. And that's just a little tag, fall type tag. And then on the other side, I just put some more of these little journaling papers. And then I just have the paper clip holding it all together. This is just a little tiny journal. And then here is the center of the signature. And it is an envelope. And that's just a sticker that I can put the flap under to hold it closed. And the envelope was part of the Screech Owl journal add-on. And then inside of this envelope, there are just more of those little journaling pages. I mean, you could, if you're having dinner with family or having a special gathering, I know that I'm doing breakfast here, and you could hand a piece of paper to each person, and they could write their prayer or their blessing, and put their name on it, or not, it's up to them, and then you could put that back in your journal too, and you would have it for forever. That's just part of a family memento. And here on this little page, I just have 2 of those little tags from that same thing, and I put them together with a little gold safety pin. And then I just separate the tags, which they can both be written on or drawn on or have small pictures put on, and just to go back inside the journal. And there is a very magnificent turkey sticker. And this says the perfect pumpkin. And I was thinking that would be a great place to tuck your favorite pumpkin pie recipe. And here I just wrote one of the prayers out that we said when I was growing up at Thanksgiving dinner to start the meal. And this was one that I had to memorize, and it's, be present at our table, Lord, be here and everywhere adored. These morsels bless and grant that we may feast in paradise with thee. And I used to love saying that grace. So I thought it was appropriate to put it in this little blessings journal. And then there's just more pages. And here, this says, fall is here. And on the back I just wrote, even if it feels and looks more like winter. Because, hey, it's been snowing. And then I have a lot more little journaling pages. And in the back, there's this little pocket. And I just cut a little square sheet of cardstock, and I folded it in a triangle. And this just says gratitude. And then it just slides down into this pocket. And I have it in here so that it actually has another pocket section back here that you can also slide your triangle into. And the back side is also a place. So there's 3 little pockets right here. But I will keep that right here in the front one. And then remember the bottom of the bag that I covered and left open? I actually made this another little journal, and it has a sticker on it that says family, and that is a cornucopia paillette, which is a sequin, and I cut a hole and put an eyelet through. And then in here I have another little journal, and these are like little 1-inch sections of paper that make pages up. And then in the back, I put the other part and I just folded it in. So once you get to here, you have wider sheets that you can make notes or journal on. And there's quite a few of those pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So that's a cute little journal. And then the back I also put an eyelet in. And that's where I put the little ribbon that is the closure. So in here, inside this envelope, in the center, I have those pages. I know I have another grace written in here too already, but I didn't see it, so it's in here somewhere. That's one thing that's nice about these little journals. They have a lot more space than you would expect, and it's fun to just make little notes. So inside the bag, because remember this is just a brown paper bag, this whole front section opens up, and it's just full of stuff. But I put a magnet in there and a washer, and it just clips shut. So inside this bag, with its magnetic closure, I put together a tag and the Thanksgiving Joys poem. And then there's 3 little recipe cards where you could write your family's favorite Thanksgiving recipes. Either maybe your mother's stuffing recipe or your father's scalloped corn recipe, because those are 2 things that I intend to put in here, only it was my husband's favorite scalloped corn recipe. And my mother's stuffing, because it used to be tradition that we all sat around and broke bread to create her stuffing every year, the night before Thanksgiving. So there's lots of happy memories for me in the recipes of Thanksgiving. And then you can just put these right back in this bag to store them safely. Of course, doing this away from me is not an easy task. So they just slide back in here, and you put them down all the way, and then it just clips closed again. And that's what this journal is looking like so far. But then the most fun part to me of junk journaling is the actual decorating, which was putting all the stickers on and laying things out how you want them. But now, as you go through and you write your blessings and your prayers, then it's time to start also decorating your pages. So, and you can decorate with just about anything. I cut these beautiful crosses out, so I could, hook the cross on a page, or I could put it on with a brad, or I could make it a decorative paper clip, because remember, these are 2-sided, so we may want to not hook them down. They could always go in as a loose decoration hooked behind the dimensional stickers. All kinds of beautiful things you can do in these journals. Like I said, I wrote my grace from when I was a child. Okay, I had to come back. I had to, because I had to find this. And it was here with my paper clip in the center of my journal. So our everyday blessing was, thank you, God, for food so good. Help us to do the things we should. Amen. And that was this little grace that we did when I was a little child growing up at home. So, yeah. That's what makes these junk journals fun, because you write things in here, and then it's like finding treasures, because you just write where you feel like it. And so then you have tucked treasures everywhere. And it also makes it a wonderful heirloom for your family to find and treasure when you're gone. So, thanks for watching again, and until next time, have fun crafting.